Story of Prophet Salomon. After the death of Prophet Dawood, Salomon became the king. He asked Allah for a kingdom that no one else would ever have, and Allah granted his wish. Along with wisdom, Allah blessed the Prophet with many special abilities. He could control the wind as he wished, and he could understand the language of birds and animals and even talk to them. The Prophet ruled the kingdom wisely, and under his command, they built large temples, fortresses, towers, and palaces. Once, Prophet Salomon and his army were traveling through a valley on their way to Ascalon. While passing through the valley, an ant noticed the approaching army. The ant cried out to warn the other ants, saying, "Go to your homes. Otherwise, Salomon and his army might accidentally crush you." The Prophet found this very amusing and thought, "Even this tiny ant knows that I am a prophet." He thanked Allah for saving the lives of the ants. Salomon had jinns and birds serving in his army too. He kept them organized and disciplined. However, he was upset when he discovered that one bird, the hoopoe, had gone missing without his permission. But soon, the bird returned to explain its absence. The little bird had been scouting in areas where the Prophet had not yet explored.
"I have discovered something that you are not aware of. I am coming from Saba with important news," the bird said. The Prophet's anger subsided and he became curious. The bird continued, "Saba is ruled by a queen named Bilqis who has a lot of wealth, including a magnificent throne. But despite their wealth, they worship the sun instead of Allah." The Prophet wanted to verify if the hoopoe was telling the truth, so he sent a letter to the queen. The bird carried the letter to the kingdom of Bilqis. The hoopoe dropped the letter in front of the queen and flew away to hide. The queen opened the letter and read the greetings from the Prophet. The Prophet had also asked her to surrender to Allah. This troubled the queen, so she called her advisors for help. They advised her that even though their country had the power to wage a war, they preferred to seek a peaceful resolution. Then they came up with an idea. They decided to send messengers to the Prophet's palace under the pretense of bringing gifts. They instructed the messengers to gather information about the Prophet's army and kingdom. When the messengers reached the Prophet's palace, they realized that Saba was insignificant compared to the Prophet's kingdom. They were astonished to see lions, tigers, and birds serving in the army. And as they entered the palace, they discovered that the wealth of Saba was nothing compared to the Prophet's. The palace floors were made of sandalwood and gold. Salomon understood that the messengers were there to gather information about him. When the messengers presented the gifts, they were surprised by the Prophet's response. The Prophet told them, "Allah has already given me enough wealth and a large kingdom. He has even chosen me as a prophet." He requested them not to open the gift covers and to take them back. He also sent a message to the queen, warning that her country would be destroyed if she didn't accept Allah. The queen's messengers returned with the gifts and delivered the message to her. They also shared the wonderful things they had witnessed. Instead of getting offended, the queen decided to visit the Prophet. The queen asked one of the messengers to inform the Prophet that she was coming to meet him. Accompanied by her officials and servants, she left Saba. When Salomon heard about the queen's arrival, he decided to test her. He asked the jinn in front of him if they could bring Bilqis' throne before her arrival.
One of the prophet's aides swiftly placed the throne before Salomon.
Then, to test the queen, he disguised the throne and changed its appearance. When Bilqis reached the palace, she received a grand welcome. The prophet pointed at the disguised throne and asked her if it belonged to her. Bilqis was confused. She looked at the throne repeatedly. After a moment of confusion, she said, "It seems so. It looks very similar to mine." The prophet concluded that she was intelligent and diplomatic. He then invited her to the grand hall, which had a floor made of solid glass. When the queen entered the hall, she mistook it for water. So she lifted her skirt slightly, fearing it might get wet. The prophet then explained to her that the floor was made of glass, not water. Bilqis was amazed. She had never seen such things before. She realized that she was with a very knowledgeable person who was not only a great ruler, but also a messenger of Allah. When she returned to Saba, she understood that the sun they worshipped was just one of Allah's creations. She repented, stopped worshipping the sun, and urged her people to do the same. Solomon lived a glorious life, and all creatures obeyed him. His death, like his life, was also extraordinary. One day, while the prophet was overseeing the jinns working in the mine, he sat holding his staff. He passed away in that position. For a long time, nobody knew about his death because he was sitting upright. The jinns continued working in the mine, thinking the prophet was watching over them. They worked like this for many days. Many days later, a hungry ant started to nibble on the prophet's staff. It kept eating the lower part of the staff until it fell from the prophet's hand. With no support from the staff, his body fell down.
The end. Hope you have enjoyed the reading. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel and find more fascinating and exciting stories from the description below the video.